Hi, is it better to buy a house or rent a house? This is one of the most common questions I have come across. Let me tell you that buying a house is one of the most important personal financial decisions for most people. It is also a highly emotional one. So I will explain this from the emotional as well as from the financial standpoint of view. So let's first explore the emotional standpoint of view. Why do people buy a house? People buy a house. Most individuals buy a house because it gives them a sense of security, stability. They feel successful by owning a house. Also, it gives them their own personal space which they can make as per their design taste. So why do people prefer to stay on rent even when they can afford to buy a house? Most individuals prefer to stay on rent when they value some other factors like opportunity or flexibility more than other factors. Then they prefer to stay on rent. So when an individual has an opportunity of getting a higher paying job or higher opportunity or growth in their career, then they would prefer to stay on rent, which also gives them the ability to move as per their opportunities. When one wants a flexibility to stay closer to their parents or their children, or maybe closer to the schools of their children, then they would prefer to stay on rent. So let's explore the financial standpoint of view. When should one buy a house and when should one stay on rent? When one is buying a house, they would generally use their own funds or take a home loan, right? Or maybe a mix of both. So one important factor to analyze while buying a house and rent is looking at the rental yield versus the home loan interest rate or the expected rate of return on the investments. So what exactly is a rental yield? Rental yield is your annual rental divided by the current market value of the property. Let me tell you, India has one of the lowest rental yields in the world. Currently in the top 10 cities, the average rental yield is 2.44% versus the current home loan interest rate is at 8.5%. So obviously financially, it makes better sense to stay on rent rather than buy a house. The extra surplus which you save by not buying a house, you can probably put it for other financial goals. It could be retirement, it could be child's education, so on and so forth. Also, while buying a house, there are some other ancillary factors to be looked into, like the factors which come, the costs which are attached to buying a house, where it could be brokerage, it could be registration and stamp duty, and other recurring expenses like maintenance or property and municipal taxes, and a lot of other costs. So while making a decision, always compare and analyze the cost. Also, there are some other factors which are financial and non-financial which one should ensure before buying a house. One is from an asset point of view. Your total, not more than 30% of your net worth should be in a self-consumption property, which means if you have a 10 crore or net worth, you can take a house, self-consumption house up to 3 crores. From a cash flow point of view, generally the EMI, the monthly EMI, if you are planning to take a home loan, should not exceed 40% of your take home. So if your take home, which is your income after deducting all the taxes, is 1 lakh, then you cannot exceed 40,000 per month EMI. These are the factors which you should consider. Important factors. Also, before buying a house, make sure your retirement, your other financial goals are well secured and met. Rental yield is not the only thing to look at. If other factors are ticking the right boxes, then you might as well go and buy the house. If you can afford it, even if the rental yields are lower, because it will give you a sense of security. I hope that this has helped you understand the pros and cons of both the situation, and then you can take an informed decision as per your current situation.